Hi everyone, Stepan here. We have another game. Welcome to game 93. I'm playing King Gindan whatever. I should say, okay, I have played this guy before and won once. I should say that I would like to thank you for your comments in yesterday's video. I am going to continue with the playlist. Excuse my whining when it comes to cheaters online. It gets to me. I'll try to make it get to me less, if that's an expression, and it's not. So the list, as you can see, has been updated. There were 5 confirmed cheaters who played against me. The guy whom I faced in yesterday's game, and then another guy a month ago, and I did not get my points refunded for that one. Okay, let me just play the normal Miran. I guess because it was a while back, but his account has been closed. In any case, we are not going to be talking about that anymore. I'll try to ignore what's going on and focus on the process and on the training. This is about chess. I have to try to get past that and just, laugh it off. Some of you have suggested that I should arrange games. Castles is a small inaccuracy. E4 was the main move. Now black gets to play c5 for free. This is a well-known mistake in the Miran. Not that it's not a playable move, but it's not a challenging move, and black is perfectly level. Now, once black manages to develop this bishop without any issues, then, white really has nothing here. Okay, another very strange move. I know the move queen e2, I know rook e1. Queen d3, I'm guessing, aims to... bishop c2 aims to play queen d3 and put pressure on h7. But I'm so far away from castling that seems strange. My opponent's going to go e4. So bishop b7, e4. Then they threaten e5, but I am going to play e5. So e5 is not going to happen. If they go e4, I'm going e5, just blocking the structure. If they take on c5, now that the bishop has moved away from d3, I think I take with the bishop because there's no tempo on d3. Normally, in these structures, if white plays dc5, you play knight c5 to gain a tempo on the bishop. But since the bishop has moved voluntarily, I guess I should develop. Okay, my opponent now wants to go rook d1, put pressure on my queen, follow that up with e4, e5. So queen c7 looks reasonable, also queen b6. I'm not sure which move is better. Queen c7 prevents e4, bishop f4. It also supports e5, so I like that better. d5 is not playable, e4, e5, rook d1, bishop e7. I mean, I may consider playing c4, going for a queenside pawn majority, but I don't really want to do that just yet. I don't understand the move a3. Is it to prevent b4? I mean, I can still play b4 and then play knight e4. My opponent actually gave me an idea here. So if I go b4, ab, cb, knight a4 seems playable. Although knight a4 couldn't I go bishop c6? And then on knight c5 I just win a pawn. So probably my opponent plays knight a2, knight d1 or knight b1. Wait, that's actually interesting. b4, ab, cb. Knight a4, bishop c6 seems to win a pawn for me. Unless I'm mistaken. So b4, ab, cb, knight a4, bishop c6, knight c5, dc5, bishop c5, pawn up. b4, ab4, cb4, knight a2, a5. Saves the pawn and locks down the knight, gives the bishop some light squares with bishop a4. But I can play bishop e7 and castle. My opponent after bishop e7 has knight e5, but then castles, knight d7. Knight d7 shouldn't be an issue. And if b4, ab4, cb4, knight d1, I actually like b4. I like b4. Wait, b4, dc5, I take the knight. Yeah, I like b4. I'm playing b4. Seems like a very strong move. My opponent doesn't have a4 or e4, so the knight has to step back. Knight a4, bishop c6. I mean, I'm not taking the knight straight away, but it is an attack on the knight, so some of the pieces will be tied down. And I also have a 2-to-1 pawn majority on the queen side now, which means that I have a potential outside passed pawn on the a file. Maybe I can just throw in rook c8 now. Maybe not even bishop c6, rook c8, and where does the bishop go? Probably bishop d3. So yeah, let's not do that. Let's go bishop d6 for now. Or maybe even knight e4. Knight e4 means that I'm moving the same piece twice. But it's very tempting to play knight e4 because it prevents e4, and then my opponent's bishop is going to be stuck forever. So knight e4, if my opponent plays queen d3, I may even consider playing f5. It seems strange, but I think it's justified. Actually, I like knight e4 very much. I'm playing knight e4. Queen d3 is not a threat because there's a bishop on b7, but if somehow my opponent increases the pressure, for example, bishop d3, queen c2, then I could consider f5. My main strategic goal is to play against the bishop and to queen my outside passed a pawn long term. That's going to be tough, but playing against the bishop seems pretty easy. What I can see is b3, bishop b2, but then still d5 is going to have to be played to liberate that bishop. I love my position. I can also consider playing bishop d5 to set up a full blockade. Maybe follow that up with queen b7. I don't want to lose my a6 pawn, but I don't think I'm risking that. Now that the knight is definitely offside, it's never coming back to c3. Okay, my opponent wants to play f3, chasing my knight away. f3 is a weakening move. So let's throw in bishop d6 to prevent f3. I mean, it is the most natural developing move anyway. And if g3 is played on f3, later on I have knight g5. Very risky business by my opponent. A lot of weaknesses. Pieces on the back rank. Unsafe king. Bad bishop. Bad knight. No e4. I think you can see why e4 is the best move in the Meran instead of castles. Good morning, Lucia. It's about 7 a.m. I usually wake up early, earlier than Lucia, and then I wake her up with my, chess. Okay, do I even castle here? Queen c6 looks incredibly tempting. But f3 is coming anyway. I feel like f5 is correct. f5, f3, knight g5. Or knight f6, preventing e4. I don't think I'm taking on g3, bishop g3, a3, queen g3, check. Queen g2. Wait a minute, there's a bishop on b7. Oh ho ho ho. Oh ho 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 ho. No, but f3 is covered too many times. So either f5. Yeah, I like f5. I'm not going to be able to resist that. I don't want to allow e4 later on. I'm playing f5. Now knight g5 loses a knight. I have to bear that in mind. My plan is knight f6 anyway, just to secure my position against e4. Okay. I did not see that, I'm gonna be honest. But is that the end of the world? I definitely don't want to trade bishops. I don't want to trade bishops. So if I just give up a pawn, castle's kingside, bishop takes e6, king h8. Castle's kingside, bishop takes e6, king h8. I don't want to give up my bishop. Look at these light squares. Yeah, I'm not giving up my bishop. I'm just gonna castle. I don't care. You can take the pawn on e6. No way I'm trading bishops. This is just too strong. It also opens up the position for rook a8. What does my opponent want to do? Knight f4? If I go queen c6, they have to go d5. Okay, let's throw in this tempo first. I wonder what my opponent does. I mean, taking the knight seems suicidal. Not taking the knight loses time. d5, I think I just take. I think I just take. d5, rook e6, d6, queen c6. There is f3. Okay. So now I'm thinking knight df6 followed by queen c6. Yeah, let's bring more pieces into play. Queen c6 is my ultimate goal. I may have to pause for a second to play a5. I really don't want to lose this pawn. The reason I played knight f6 first is so that on queen c6, d5, I would have knight takes d5. Knight f4 runs into g5. Okay, so the question is, do I have queen c6 now? Queen c6, f3, knight takes d2, queen takes d2. I don't want to pause to play a5 now, because rook c1 is coming. What about bishop g3 now? No, not before f3 is played. Yeah, I think I just take on d2 and play knight e4 again. Because that prevents anything taking on b4, gives me the bishop pair, reduces my opponent's control over the light squares. And my knights aren't superfluous. They're actually pretty good, but knight g4 doesn't seem as strong as gaining another tempo and giving myself the option to go rook f6. And I just wanted to avoid playing a5. I mean, if my opponent goes queen e1, then I'm pretty happy. Although now I don't have queen c6. Okay, now I don't have queen c6. There will be d5. Wait, do I just have mate with knight takes g3? Yeah, if my opponent takes twice, then it is mate. So knight g3, f g3, bishop g3, h g3, queen g3, check is checkmate. But my opponent doesn't have to take twice. Although if I take with the bishop, they may have to take. So bishop takes g3, f takes g3, knight takes g3. Oh, there has to be something here. Bishop g3, taking is forced, because otherwise I take on h2. So let's say f takes g3, knight takes g3, taking is not forced. My opponent can play queen f2. Bishop takes g3, f takes g3, knight takes g3, h takes g3, queen g3 check is checkmate. That's over. We don't have to look at that. Bishop g3, f g3, knight g3, not taking, but playing queen f2. Also seems deadly. because I have rook f6 and rook h6. But there may be f3, so probably my opponent takes with the h pawn first. Do I just go rook f6 first? Does it change anything? Because rook f6 sets up all the threats. Do I cash in now or go rook f6? I don't know. Okay, once again, bishop g3, h g3, knight g3. Where does the queen even go? If the queen moves, I go rook f6. I think this works. I'm just gonna play it. It's definitely too tempting. I just have too many pieces in the attack. My opponent has no defenders. And I mean, in worst case, I take a rook and two pawns for two pieces. And I also have rook f6 coming up. Rook c1 doesn't work now due to bishop h2. It's tough to see. Okay, takes with the h pawn. Yeah, now. Now I think I'm just winning. Yeah, this has to be over. The knight cannot be taken, and it cannot not be taken. The point is that there is no queen g2 or king h1. My bishop cuts everything off. Okay, now how do I win? I'm guessing queen d6 is enough to win. Is there anything stronger? Queen d6. The knight is still immune. The threat is queen h6 or queen g6. Yeah, this works. This works. The knight is immune. If knight f4, I play queen h6. Oh wait, I have to be careful on knight f4. Knight f4, I probably play knight e4 first. Yeah, this doesn't work. This cannot work. Now I throw in 92 check. Wait, 92 king g2. No, there's no king g2. What am I saying? Yeah, come on. This is just mate. Come on, yes. Yes. I never attack like this. Yes, come on. Okay, maybe I should have gone rook f6 first, but this is... I don't remember having such a brutal attacking game ever. Okay, let's analyze. Whoa. Okay. So, in this position, the main move is e4. Let me just expand the thing so that you can see everything. Okay. So as you can see, the main move here is e4, and it's the best move for a reason. Castles is playable, but it's imprecise because of c5. And I've had this mistake played against me many times. And here I know that the best move is queen e2. I also know the move rook e1. Let's see how we did. Wait, I had 5 blunders? Okay, this is gonna be fun. Okay, let's turn on the engine. Let's see the blunders. Okay, so bishop c2, bishop b7, queen e2, queen c7, a3. b4 is not the best move, but it makes sense to me. Wait a minute. White is better. Knight a4. Knight e4 is fine. It's equal. Okay, bishop d6 makes sense. g3. f5 is a big mistake. I should have gone e5. Wow. e5? I wouldn't have thought of e5. If you asked me to guess the 10 best moves, I wouldn't have said e5. Doesn't it seem scary to open things up? Okay, I will analyze this. h5 is the best move. So ignoring the pawn is okay, but castles is a blunder. Why? Okay, first of all, I don't care about the pawn. Yeah, okay. So now I'm winning. So giving up the pawn is correct. My opponent should have played f3. Knight g5, bishop d7, and apparently they are fine. I don't believe that. So let's see. Knight df6, blunder. Wow, I should have gone f4. Look at all the blunders. Bishop d2, blunder. Knight takes d2, blunder. Come on. f4. Okay, f4 makes sense now. The queen is pinned. Wow. Knight e4 is correct. Queen e2, blunder. Bishop g3, blunder. Come on. This was a dreadful game, but it was fun. Bishop takes g3. Okay, hg3, blunder. fg3 was better. And of course you don't take. You want to keep your queen connected to g2. Okay, knight g3, now I have to be winning. Queen c2. Queen d6 has to be best. Queen c5 is just mate. Yeah. Okay. This was a fun game. So, yeah. I would say that this is probably the least precise game I have ever played, if you consider my opponent's moves as well. This was just awful. I just thought that bishop g3 was winning. Wait a minute. So let's say I'm actually a very good player, and I see that bishop g3 doesn't work due to fg3, knight g3, and queen d2. I mean, it's still just equal. I would still take black here and play rook f6. Knight f4. Now the knight is hanging. I have to take. Yeah, apparently I don't have anything. I would probably still take black here because of this bishop. Okay, yeah, and instead of bishop g3, I should have gone f4. And now, of course, the queen is hanging, so you take, I guess. I take back. You can never take with the e-pawn. If you take with the e-pawn, I at least go knight g3. Wait, okay, knight g5 is better. Yeah, knight g5 is of course better. Yeah, okay, f4 is very interesting. In any case, thank you for watching. Hope you got something from the game. It was fun for me. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye-bye.